friends, I'm Susan, the designer behind Fosbar's Design, and today I'll be showing you how I made the lace section of this beautiful dress using the modified cross treble stitch. I've named it the modified cross treble stitch because of the way the stitches are worked. You'll notice that the stitches are not linked. This is not how the usual treble stitches looks. They usually have the crossed parts in which they are linked, and you really can separate the treble, if you know what I mean. So let's get into the tutorial. Items that you can make with these beautiful stitches, this stitch combination. You can make tops, you can make cardigan. In fact, I hope to make a cardigan before this summer ends. You can make scarf. Let me know what other item you intend to make with this beautiful stitch. So I'll be using my crochet hook, 5mm crochet hook for this tutorial, and I have small more yarn that's left from the pattern. So I'm using double knit yarn, size 3. You're welcome to use any weight of yarn that you feel appropriate with the appropriate hook size. So for this tutorial, we'll chain 25. Start with a slip knot and chain 25. We'll make it 25 chains because we need multiple of 4 plus 1 for this stitch to work. You're welcome to start your foundation row with either a single crochet, half double crochet, or double crochet itself. And you can do chainless foundation if you so wish. Great, so I have 25 chains. I'll work in the half double crochet into the third chain from hook 1, 2, 3, and into each of the chains across. So I'll skip and make the foundation row, which is my row 1. When I have half double crochet in all the stitches, I'll be back. So I have 23 half double crochet in my first row. So we'll go ahead to start the pattern. Right, so I'll turn and chain 3. And mind you, the turning chains in this tutorial are not counted as a stitch. So the first stitch, I'll work in a treble crochet. That means I'll yarn around my hook twice. I'm using the US time. Pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook. I'll pull up the first 2 loops. See that? And then pull up the next 2. Yarn over, pull up the remaining 2 stitches. First treble stitch made. Now, the next thing I'll do is to chain 2. See that? Skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and work in treble stitch into the next stitch. So to make our treble, yarn round the hook twice, skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, work a treble into the next stitch. First treble made, chain 2, yarn round your hook twice. That's to make our treble stitch. We skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. So into the second stitch, you work in your treble stitch. Here, I want you to pay attention to how I work the second treble stitch. So I prefer to come from the behind, insert my hook, yarn round my hook, and pull up a loop. Still have 4 loops on my hook. The previous treble, I'm keeping it behind with my hand. Yarn over, pull up the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull up the next 2 loops. Yarn over, pull up the remaining 2 loops. Can you see? They are independent, they are not linked. And that is our first cross treble lace stitch. That's what I've called it. It's a modified treble stitch. So, first stitch made. Chain 2. Skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and work in a treble into this stitch. Yarn over your hook twice, insert your hook, and do that twice. Can you see that? Chain 2, yarn round your hook twice. I'll now work your treble into the second stitch, skip stitch. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3. So can you see I insert my hook from the back? I want the first treble to be independent. Pull through the first 2 loops, next 2 loops, and then the third loop. Chain 2, skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and insert your hook. Work in your next treble stitch. That has been made. Chain 2, work in next treble stitch into the skip stitch, the second skip stitch, and complete the treble. That's in 2s. Can you see how the stitch looks? Let me bring it closer. It looks the same on either side. By the time we work a few more rows on this, you end up not having right or wrong sides. So chain 2. This is what we will repeat till the end of the row. I've only made a long length of chain so that you'll be able to see me work this for a number of times. Yarn round your hook twice, skip the next 3 stitches, and work in a treble. Complete that. Chain 2. Into the second skip stitch, work in a treble. No, I yarn over just once. Work in a treble. Pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Complete that. Great. So I'm going to make the remaining treble stitches until the last 2 stitches on the back. Okay, so I have 1 or 2 more stitches to end the row. I'm going to chain 2, skip the next stitch, and work a treble into the last stitch.